Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin aka The Terrible Shrine, and welcome to my video review of the sequel to the 2012 action film Jack Reacher, Jack Reacher Never Go Back. So let's get right into it. Now, I should say it off right off the bat, I should say. I really liked the original Jack Reacher. I thought it was a really fun, really entertaining, kind of old school action film, and also it gave a real badass performance from Tom Cruise. Probably his most badass performance of his career, like in terms of his action roles. And I really enjoyed that film a lot, and sort of what writer and director Christopher McQuarrie actually brought to that film. And I was down for a sequel if one was going to get made, and I assumed there would be one at some point, because I know Lee Child, who's the author behind all the Jack Reacher books, has written like 20 or so books so far, from what I've heard. So you can easily make an entire series out of these books. And so it has been quite a bit of a wait, about 4 years in between the first film and the sequel, which finally came out in the form of Jack Reacher Never Go Back. And unfortunately, Christopher McQuarrie didn't write or direct this sequel. Instead, Edward Zwick, the Oscar-winning director behind films like Glory, The Last Samurai, and so many others, took over as directing and co-writing duties with this one. So even though I was kind of disappointed McQuarrie wasn't back, but I really like Edward Zwick as a director, so I was very interested to see what he would bring to the table for this sequel. And I have to say, I don't think this film is as good as the original Jack Reacher film, but I thought it was still a pretty solid sequel. Like, there are some kind of little problems here and there, and it does sort of lack that Christopher McQuarrie touch that the original had, which made it really cool. But I think on its own, it's still a pretty solid sequel, and a really entertaining one with a really engaging story. And once again, Tom Cruise just delivers such a badass performance as Jack Reacher. Like, anytime he's on screen, you just can't help but feel engaged by what's going on. And as well as it's pretty well directed for most part, the script is really solid. And although I will say this about the script, I do feel like this film is a little tad overlong, even more so than, because at times the film does sort of drag in certain scenes and all that. But what it does make up for it, though, is like what I really responded to the most about this film, other than, the action set pieces, which were all pretty well done, was of course the characters in this one. Of course, Jack Reacher's kind of his arc as a character, and also, but most importantly, it's really about the relationships between the two sort of central female characters that are in the film. One, of course, is played by Cobie Smulders, who's kind of his equal in a lot of ways, and the fact that the three of them team up together to find out, like, this mystery solve this mystery that's going on, which I thought was really compelling, and it also kind of delved into more of the character of Jack Reacher as a character. Like, it showed a bit more sort of free dimensions to the character, and also being around these two female companions of his, it really sort of added a lot more to his character. But at the same time, both female characters, again, one's played by Cobie Smulders, and the other actress in the film, I'm trying to, Danika Yarosh, I probably butchered her name, so forgive me. Their performances were really good. I really liked the both of them, and they definitely their characters are really well fleshed out as well. But I sort of like the three of them working together, and kind of their sort of interactions with each other, which to me are some of the best in the film, and at least when it comes to sort of character moments and development. And of course, the action set pieces, like I said, are pretty well done, really entertaining. Maybe not as awesome as the ones in the first film, but I thought it was still pretty well done nonetheless. In terms of negatives, other than the ones I mentioned before, I will say this though: I did feel like this plot was rather predictable, and also the mystery isn't all that kind of surprising as well. And also, I kind of feel like the film kind of lacked a really good villain as well, or one that wasn't as memorable as the ones in the first film. I mean, it's hard to top, having Werner Herzog as the villain in in your first film and having trying to follow up to that. So so I can forgive the film for that, but I kind of wish they had more stronger villains though. And yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, Jack Reacher Never Go Back. Again, not as good as the first film, but I thought on its own as it is, as a sequel, I thought it was still a pretty solid one. A bit tad over long and does have its little issues, but, you know, it's still pretty enjoyable nonetheless. So, if I had to give this film a rating, I give it a solid 3.5. So yeah, that's the end of my video review of Jack Reacher Never Go Back. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you guys. Bye.